have it on your mind.
Shleishim Yom Kedem Achag. Before Pesach. So we have the mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim. As I remember going out of Mitzrayim, we have to say it over. One of the big questions that all the Mefarshim are bothered with is what's the difference with Pesach and all year round?
What are we doing over here? Learning about Pesach.
Every day there's a mitzvah to remember Yetzias Mitzrayim. There's a mitzvah every day to remember Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim. And we pass in like Rabbi Elazar ben Azai that even at nighttime, that we have twice a day, once in the morning, once at nighttime. You have mitzvah to remember Yetzias Mitzrayim. So the shayla is what's different about Pesach? Besides for this question, the question gets even bigger. That if you look in the Rambam and a lot of the Meini HaMitzvahs, they bring you the mitzvah's asay to say over a Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim on Lil Pesach, but the mitzvah to say Yetzias Mitzrayim every day, they don't count as one of the Taryag mitzvahs. Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim on Pesach is counted one of the Taryag mitzvahs, but all year round saying remembering Yetzias Mitzrayim is not counted. So the shayla is why? What's going on over here?
Well, you say Leman Tisker is not a mitzvah, but Sipur is.
So from Leman Tisker, we learn out the mitzvah for Yetzirah to say Yetzias Mitzrayim every single day, and from the Gatas Levincha, we learn out the mitzvah for Lol Pesach. But for some reason, the Rambam brings both of them as a mitzvah, but the only one that he counts as one of the Taryag mitzvahs is Lol Pesach, V'Gatas Levincha.
Interesting. But
Leman Tisker, to remember Yetzias Mitzrayim every single day, is not counted as one of the Taryag mitzvahs.
No, it's not.
According to the Rambam. So the shayla is what's going on. So the Ur Sameach has a very mechudesh pshat. He wants to say in the Rambam that the Rambam Be'emes holds that Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim every single day of the year is only midrabanan. Either Chari Psukim, the Mantis, the same taste, but it's only a smachta. The Ur Sameach, he wants to teach in the Rambam. It's only midrabanan from the pasuk Lamantis Kursi Asmachta. And that's the chiluk. Then you can understand clear. Then it's mamish clear what's the difference between Pesach and the rest of the year. Pesach is mitzvah daraisa, the rest of the year is only mitzvah darabanan.
You still have to. Why you do it 30 days before? We didn't answer yet.
It's 30 days before.
Well, you're saying something about Pesach. You have to be Maus Yetzias Mitzrayim.
I just said it's Shloshim Kedem Achag, so we're going to start talking about Pesach.
Oh, okay.
Before. Yeah. And. So Ur Sameach in the first Maramakim, he says after answering the question, he says Lochin Amina. He wants to say the Ikar Mitzvah Yetzias Mitzrayim is Lahasker Mikra, which we learn from the pasuk that from the Leman Tizkar is saying Tzeischam Eretz Mitzrayim. So Pasha the Kram Aide B'Chedesh Aviv. So Pashas you learn the pasuk is talking about Chedesh Aviv. It's talking about Pesach. The mitzvah to say Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim Pesach by night. It says Vasisa Pesach V'Seichel Av Chametz Chulu Ki V'Chipazim Yitzasa Leman Tizkar Siyem Tzeischah Chulu. He says you can't learn now. So the pasuk Leman Tizkar L'chayr is talking about Pesach. It's not talking about all year round. So therefore you want to say it's only Midrabanan. Ayla Chayra the Gemara in Bracha says that Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim is Deiraisa. He says Lav Dafka. What does it mean Deiraisa? Deiraisa means as opposed to some mitzvahs midrabanan are like a mishmeres. It's to prevent you from doing other things, but it's not mitzvah the chashivas of the inyan itself. He says if here it calls it Deiraisa because it's similar to Deiraisa. The mitzvah Deiraisa you do it just because it gives the Eibusher nachas, because it makes the Eibusher happy. So this takana midrabanan was saying Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim every day. It wasn't a mishmeres to stop you from doing something. It's a chashiva thing. It itself gives the Eibusher nachas. It says V'had the Karila b'Gemara in the second paragraph Deiraisa. Why is it called a Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim Deiraisa? Hainu v'yesh takonis chacham she'in zerak mishum mishmeres. Some takonis chacham are only mishmeres. It's a guard. V'yesh inyan she'in la'afak hasratzin. Habayri is to make the Eibusher get nachas ruach. So and tiknu avisenu liskar b'peh mali Yetzias Mitzrayim b'chol yim. Chacham are masakin to say Yetzias Mitzrayim every day. U'lahoydei slayal zen to thank the Eibusher. It's Hashlamas Haratzin. It's not just a mishmeres. And there's Chmiru b'Sveikei Yeah, it's a deichak. It's schwer, but that's why he wants. That's why he wants to find for the Rambam. He's bothered. Why doesn't the Rambam count it as one of the Taryag mitzvahs? Just like Ramaz or Machmir by Divrei Kabbalah, Sveikes by other dinim, Megillah, other things. So it's over here they're Machmir like by Divrei Torah. So this is a very mechudesh pshat. Yeah, the Pashto Sifri Yisis Mitzrayim every day is a mitzvah daraisa. So most Mepharshim don't learn like this. So back to the so taking on the Taka Sifri Mitzrayim is daraisa every day. So Taka, why doesn't the Rambam count it as one of the Taryag mitzvahs, and also why is Pesach different? So the Tzlach, the Noida Behuta, he wrote a Pirush on the Gemara. It's called the Tzlach Tzion Lenefesh Chaya, named after his mother. So he says a word that where do we learn it out from? He says Laman Tizkar Shein Tzischem Esayin Klei Mechayecha. What's the hemshech of the pasuk? It says you should make the karban Pesach, you should eat the matzos, you should do everything. Why Laman Tizkar? In order that you should remember Yitzis Mitzrayim. So Pashas Laman Tizkar is not a tzivui. Is that a command? It's a reason. It's telling you why you should do karban Pesach and all other mitzvahs. Why should you do it? In order that you should remember. So he says, so you can't tell me you learn out a mitzvah that one of the Taryag mitzvahs that you have to say Sifri Tziyusayim every day.
And even Pesach, it's not a mitzvah according to that pshat.
So by Pesach we have another pasuk, the Gad Levincha. So that's a tzivui. So he says Laman Tizkar is not a tzivui. That's why you can't count that as one of the Taryag mitzvahs. But it still is a mitzvah deiraisa, right? Because you see from the pasuk Laman Tizkar, the Eibush is telling you should do the karban Pesach and all the mitzvahs in order that you should remember Yitzis Mitzrayim your whole life. So automatically, there is a mitzvah. There's a mitzvah deraisa to say Sifri Tziyusayim every day, but you can't count it as one of the Taryag mitzvahs. In the second Maramakim, he says, "V'nasati livi l'davar zeh." So he was bothered by this question. Why doesn't the Rambam count it? And he said, I went back. It was Chayzer v'yafa kivnu, and he says the Rambam was right. Shalei manu mitzvah zu b'minyan mitzvahs. The Rambam was right for doing this. So why? Kivin shalei nemra mitzvah zu b'lashin tzivui. The mitzvah of remembering Yitzis Mitzrayim every day is not b'lashin tzivui. Dim hayaksiv zachar shem tzeischa. If the Eibush wrote like that zachar, then ha'isnech sheves the mitzvah la'atzma. It would have been counted as a mitzvah for itself. In the Taryag mitzvahs, aval kivin dechsiv laman tizkar. It just says in order that you should remember. V'geimer ad la'elkai. Therefore, it's going on what I said earlier. And v'nisinas tam, and it's giving a reason. Lama dechsiv la'el minei mitzvah achilas pesach v'achilas matzah. It's giving a reason why should you eat the karban pesach and the matzahs in order that you should remember Sifri Mitzrayim. And what's the reason? Nasan tam sh'aydei zeh tizkar seim tzeischa. So it's not a tzivui. That's why you can't count it. How do we learn now that it is a mitzvah deraisa? So he goes to the second paragraph. Even though we do end up learning out that it is a mitzvah deraisa to say Yitzis Sifri Mitzrayim every day. And he says a mitzvah lahaskir Yitzis Mitzrayim. It's a mitzvah to remember it. So why do we count it? If it's a mitzvah that I saw, why is it one of the Taryag mitzvahs? Says still, it's still it doesn't. You can't count it as one of the 248 mitzvahs hasis. Why? There's a daim lamasha heshri sharambam b'shershav sherish hachamishi. Of the Rambam sherish hachamishi. He explains, gives a klolim. How do you decide what is one of the Taryag mitzvahs, one is not? And it comes out that even though something could be a mitzvah deraisa, deraisa includes to do such a thing, but it's not counted as one of the Taryag mitzvahs. He didn't have time to go through the shadish over there. Where
the shorashim? What's it?
It's in the Sefer Mitzvahs. Before he goes to the mitzvahs, he has the shorashim over there. So I didn't get a chance to go through the klal, but over there is Masber. So he says this doesn't fit with the klal. In order to be counted as one of the Taryag mitzvahs, it needs to be said b'lashin tzivui. Fine, you could push this away.
So there's a neutral. There's a esa, and a neutral.
You could have a chiv.
You can accomplish a mitzvah.
You could have a chiv deraisa.
To accomplish a mitzvah, or it's a mitzvah if you do
it's
it.
It's a chiv. Like avas.
Chiv, then it should be counted. You have to see the klal.
Yeah, but
there's
a lot of mitzvahs that are not counted as.
And you have to do it?
Yeah.
Or it's a neutral if you want to.
No, they're all you have to do.
Avas Yisrael, right? It's not counted as one of the Taryag mitzvahs.
because it's non-stop.
Because it's a klal, it's a mitzvah klal, as the Rambam says. It's klal many other things. It's not a specific mitzvah. That's why it can't be counted as one of the Tariq mitzvahs. But it's Taka Chiyuv D'Oraisa. So there's mitzvahs in D'Oraisa, then there's the Tariq mitzvahs. What's the count? Well, which ones are counted as part of the Tariq mitzvahs? You can ask, what's the nafka if it's one of the Tariq or if it's not? So the Prima Gadol, I say, gave some nafka. What's the difference if it's mitzvah ba'oma or if it's one of the Tariq mitzvahs? He said if you have a chance to do both of them, one has to be deicha the other one. Which one has more chashivas? So he says the one that's one of the Tariq mitzvahs has more of a chashivas. He's deicha the one that's not part of the Tariq. He gave a few other digmois. What if you make a shvur? I don't remember. There's some other digmois. What's the nafka if it's part of the Tariq or not part of the Tariq mitzvahs? In the Psichet Hilchos Kriyashma, he gives some nafkaminas. But this is the beer of the Neidav Yehuda in the Slach. On one hand, it's Taka Mitzvah D'Oraisa, but it's not part of the Tariq mitzvahs. So according to this, what's the chilik between the Sipri Tzitz time of Pesach and all year round? So it's not so much that the difference is whether it's one of the Tariq mitzvahs or it's just a mitzvah ba'oma. So the mitzvah is the same. Just one is one of this is the Tariq. Not even one of one of the Tariq mitzvahs, and all year round it's a mitzvah ba'oma. It's not one of the Tariq. Pale Mamish, there isn't such a big chiluk. It's the end of the day, it's the same mitzvah. So that's the beer. That's the second shot. The third shot, this one is a lot more well known. A lot of the Farshim say the word is that all year round it says man tizkar. You have to remember it. So to remember it, it's enough just to mention it, right? You say we say in the Sheish Chilas man tizkar, same seischem yitzayim, and also in Vayemer you say derech agav. You say very quickly. So I mean, all year round you yitzay medaraisa the chiyuv just by mentioning it. You don't have to have a whole sipur tell over the whole story or the makris, everything that happened. But whereas on Pesach it says v'gadet halevincha, it has to be a haggadah, it has to be a whole long story. So in order to be mekayim the mitzvah, it has to be more about it has to be barichos.
The nafka, the clear is just you yourself have to remember. You got vinchas, you're relating it.
That's another test. We'll see soon. That's another one.
The man tizkar to be machshava.
That's another answer. Yeah. Some say that. We're gonna get there. So this is Haggadah. There's Haggadah called Ma'aser Nissen. It's from the Chavas Das. Yeah, the Chavas Das to be on your day. His name is Yaakov Milisa, Yaakov Liverbein. So he's from the Gdela Pesach. This in the Sivas HaMishpat is from him. Makar Chaim and Hilchos Pesach. So you're already Haggadah. So he says, "Delphinius daiti nira the Belayla Zoom." Sipper ma'aliyah, but you need to tell over the whole story. You're not yitzer with just one dibur. Kamei shekasu v'heimzal to dibur echad b'chal zechirahu. Just saying one word is like a zechira. And just a dibur, just a zechira. That we do every night. That we do all year long every night. So that's not what we do on Pesach. Pesach is different. What's the chiddush on El Pesach? It says, super ma'aliyah. Rather, for sure, on the night of Pesach, you need a proper super. You need to tell over the whole story. From the beginning to the end, you need to tell over the whole story properly. Even that's
smaller nest, or wasn't the Eibush doing it?
What do you bring after? He says, Kol Shekain and was it the Rabbanan? I don't remember what he said afterwards. Could be it was the Rabbanan, yeah. Even I'm putting you have to say over the whole story. You have to say the whole story. If you leave anything, you're not Yetzer. For sure on Pesach. So when I'm sick, a lot of other places want to say this chiluk that super nice. It has to be barichus, and whereas on Pesach it has to be, it could be bekitzer.
No, you said every day it has to just be a skid, and Pesach it has to be the whole sipper.
On Pesach it has to, on Pesach it has to be the whole sipper. That points out that in the points out in Haggadah, a lot of the Farshim is from a lot of Rishonim is mashma that you are Yisrael is just zechira. We'll see later. One of the reasons why don't you make a bracha on the mitzvah Sipri Seisim sign? So you say because you're already Yisrael when you say it in Kiddush, when you say it in Kriya Shema. So it seems like there's Rishonim are Yisrael like that. But on the other hand, but whatever, there's a lot of first want to take on this mahal that it has to be Haggadah, that has to be Barichos. So that's this is a third beer. Why how's Pesach? So he doesn't answer why it's not counted as one of the Taryag mitzvahs all night long, but he explains what's the difference between all year long and Pesach by night. A fourth pshat we have from the Pri Megadim. He wants to say that, well, you mentioned this. It's enough you just remembered. If you think about Yetzias Mitzrayim, are you Yetzah? So.
Got it doesn't mean schire.
Oh, so he got it.
Zachar every day is schire, is with your mind, but we got it is not with your mind.
So very good. That's what he wants to say. All year long.
Right.
Yeah, but if you remembered it just through thinking it, are you Yetzah? See, he wants to say maybe that I so yes, says man tizkar same teischa, so tizkar, so it could be just a machshava is good enough. Whereas on Pesach, it says he got this has to be dafka dibur. So this is one pirush he wants to say in the fourth Maram Makim. He says, the Psich Hilchos Kriyashma says v'nemer oid the sefer you can another pshatik say the sefer Rambam zal ki man tizkar same teischa metzis sein kol mechayecha zech. It's enough just to think it in your heart. Below Pesach, you need to actually say it over. It says, you have to tell it over to your children. And Stam Haggadah needs to be bedibber. Imkain, he says, so therefore you can't say this is why the Ram didn't count as a mitzvah asay, because it's a machshava thing. A mitzvah is a maisa.
No mitzvah asay, no machshava he's saying.
So that's the problem. He says right after, he says, this is fair. Halay mitzvah asay, v'leisas v'tchil sefer mada, v'machshava umanam. What's the first mitzvah asay in sefer mada? To believe in the Eivishter, you can't believe in other Eivishter, you have to have Ava v'yira. So
that's the way you do that. That one, the way you do it is belev. Schire. Yeah, I guess that's what it's on.
So he wants to say so. Yeah. Well, there's two shilas. One shilah for sure answers what's the difference between all year long and Pesach by night. So yes, says a chiluk that midiraisa schira bepez enough. Could be midirabanon. You have to be dafke bedibra, but midiraisa is enough for schira. Whereas on Pesach you have to dafke say it. And so according to this, maybe you could also find from the Ram. Why does the Ram count as one of the Taryag mitzvahs? Maybe because only Talvi Machshava. So that why doesn't he count all year long as one of the Taryag mitzvahs? So he says maybe because it's mitzvah, it's Talvi, it's Machshava, it's not a Maisa.
That he flips up right away.
Yeah, that he questions. I'm not so sure about that. There's a true from the Shagas Aryeh. I didn't have a chance to go through it, but he writes very stark. He says that he wants to be mechiach, that it's not enough to Machshava. You have to, he says, you have to do it. You have to say bepeh.
What Chiris
is Mitzrayim all year long. It's not enough to just think in machshava. I didn't have a chance to go through the tshuva, but he writes away about it. There's mechiach. So the Rebbe, yeah.
The guy doesn't have children. He's still there, but he can't just.
Oh, that's
the Rebbe.
That's number 6. So the Rebbe brings down this tshuva of the Rebbe brings down the Haggadah. He brings down this word the Shagas Aryeh. He wants to say that you have to do dafke bepeh. So the answer to the Pri Megadim doesn't work. So the Rebbe says, look, so even if you want to say that the Shagas Aryeh that has to be dafke b'dibur, could be that's only midirabanon, but midiraisa the machshava is good enough. In the 5th Maram, the Rebbe says the Shagas Aryeh says Simin in Gimel. He's chelik on this word that machshava is good enough. So it says the Ishleim are the Kenu Das HaSifra. Could be that's like the Sifra holds like that in Yidavke V'Diver. And even according to the Bavli, the Shagasaya, he has all back and forth. It's not so clear whether the Bavli holds in Yidavke V'Diver. V'shani Turutzum Leini Nolun. Ikafar and for the Shagasaya Shailas. And what's one of them? One friend for Tirus the Rebbe says V'Ishleim the Rak Midrabanon Chayvu B'Kol Yem V'Diver. You can say this that the Shagasaya is Mechiach that has to be Dafke V'Diver. Could be that's only midirabanon, but midiraisa could be the other it could be midiraisa. Machshava is good enough, and I was like you could still find for the chiluk between all year long and Pesach. At Pesach midiraisa needs to be dafke b'dibur.
The Rambam's deiraisa, but it's not one of the Taryag. He wants to say that the Rambam holds He's going with the svara that it's not the Raisa b'chlal. He
Why?
wants to bring out it's not the Raisa. Even if I have to say it b'dibber, it's still not the Raisa.
Right, but the machshava is the Raisa.
That's what you want to say. The machshava is the
The
Raisa.
machshava is the Raisa.
And the Rabbanan is b'dibber.
Like Simon for that all year long is machshava, Pesach is b'dibber. So Peshagas Chelik says no. He brings Raisa all year long is also b'dibber. So the Rebbe says could be that's after midrabanan, but midraisa. Yeah, but midraisa machshava is good enough. So then you do this. So then you do have the chiluk between Pesach and all year long. All year long, midraisa is good enough for machshava. Whereas what's changed on Pesach? On Pesach, they should give you mitzvah chiv
Why would the
deraisa.
Rabbanan want you to say it b'dibber?
Why b'dibber? Maybe dibber is ma'ir the machshava. It's ma'ir the kavana.
Or you're blabbling instead of thinking. And what was wrong?
It's easier to blabber than to...
Right, but what was wrong? The machshava that the Rabbanan had to come and say, just
What has a
blabble
bigger
it.
effect on the body?
Huh?
The machshava or the dibber?
What?
What has a bigger effect on the body?
Machshava?
Yeah?
On your own body?
Kale.
But
On your own body, not somebody else. Dibber is lazulis. What about for yourself? What is a
No,
bigger...
but when you bring it on to
Usually-
to word, the dibber, it's big, it's closer
The sefer the chinuch the sefer chinuch says that kale is ma'ir hakavana. You're going to tell if I carry it, so it's just dibber. You just blabber it off and you don't think about what you're saying. But sometimes the kale is ma'ir the kavana.
Okay.
So this is a fourth tidus we gave. The Minchas Chinuch he gives another beer, and the shaila is that that it has to be, it says that you see if the whole teichen of Pesach of the CPC's Mitzrayim, it has to be in a way of shaila and tirus. They ask someone to ask you the shaila. Ask you the shaila, then it has to be a way of a question and answer. So this is the Minchas Chinuch on say the chiluk is in the 6 Mar Malkim. It says the fi mashik asafti efshar leimar to tamin on mitzvah lahasker b'fnei atzmei v'loy lahagi lebnoi. That all year long the mitzvah is just to say. So let's remember we went with the Yidden one that Eibush took the Yidden out of Mitzrayim. V'loy lahagi, not to tell it over. The kana mitzvah l'sapei lebnoi. Over here the chiv is to tell it over to someone else. Afal im ein imoy acher. What if he's sitting by himself? So Yitak is still need to say Cyprian is Mitzrayim, but Hamis is the Haskir Ba'as Me Shavel Sharleilas. And in Hachinami, if you're doing the Seder by yourself, then that mitzvah, so you're not being, so the mitzvah being Mekayim is the same as all year long. You're not being Mekayim the mitzvah the unique mitzvah of Pesach by night. Even though Yitak are mechuyev to say it over, but it's different. It's not the regular chiyuv. So there's the medrash he'll bring down Dafka L'Benoi. And the Rebbe is going to bring it down soon. Yeah, not even Dafka B'nai, even to another person.
So what?
Sometimes you're mitzvah, whatever you do, you say that people that don't know about Yitzhak Mitzrayim. You see that
Yeah, you have to get him to ask. At Pesach, probably not tonight.
So according to this, so it's better that a person should not eat the Seder by himself.
Well, Chayda, yeah. Again in the 9th Malkim, it's Shiva Rosh one saying why.
How do you get a kid by eating somewhere else?
You go to your family.
It doesn't mean Dafka a kid, it could be any other
You
person.
think it's better to eat with your kid?
No,
It's not
better-
Dafka a kid, it's another person.
It's better to eat in a family situation or in because you don't have
You're saying that.
I'm saying that's what I'm asking.
Saying with
Well, it says
another
over here, you have to say it. So you have to say it to somebody.
saying with another person.
Bincha.
Not Dafka Bincha,
No,
any
don't
other
be Dafka
person. As
Bincha.
long as it's another person, you have to be telling it over to someone else.
Wait, you said that?
It's not the Bincha is lav Dafka. The Gemara says lav Dafka Bincha. Even with another person, you're still mechuyev to tell it over.
Also it says Vigat to a bincha, so you want to say it's
But
Vigat
that's
to
the normal.
anybody.
Yeah, we're going to see later. We're going to see this. The
That's the normal.
Medrash. The Medrash says. So this later in the 9th Maramakim, if we get around to it, there's going to be the Rosh asks, why don't we make a bracha on Sipri Tzis Mitzrayim? Why do we make a bracha on it? See, it has a very interesting mahalach. He says that it sounds like he's saying midaraisa. You're not mechuyev to tell over. It's also enough of machshava. He says, when are you mechuyev to say it over b'dibur? Dafka when someone asks you. Says Shalta bin Chamach says Dafka when someone asks you, you will have a chiv deraisa to say it over. If he didn't ask you, then midaraisa it's enough of machshava. The chiv to say it over is Dafka when someone asks you. Well, no, as we said, we might all read it inside. The ninth Maramakim, jump ahead. It says, V'shasha'ata lama in mevarchin al sipur ha'agada. Why do you make a bracha? So he says, Habi dvarim tziva kadosh baruch hu la'aseh zeich l'siyas Mitzrayim. So there's a lot of things that are zeich l'siyas Mitzrayim, besides for zechiras l'siyas Mitzrayim. Ve'inu mevarchin aleina, so we don't make a bracha on it. Kugayin hafrashas b'chayres v'chol ha'mayidim. All these mitzvahs are zeich l'siyas Mitzrayim. We don't make a bracha that the Eibusher made us remember l'siyas Mitzrayim when we do these mitzvahs. Why? Shein tzarich lahaskir v'afrashas b'chayres anu oisin oiser zeich l'siyas Mitzrayim. You're not mechuyev to say that I'm doing this zeicher l'siyas Mitzrayim. Ela shetziva kadosh baruch hu la'asis ha'maisa. Just the Eibusher commanded us to do this maisa, and we take kacha nu zeich l'siyas Mitzrayim. Through this, we automatically remember it, but I don't have to say it over. So to Pesach by night. I mean, the Eibusher told us to eat the carbon Pesach, to eat the matzah, it's all zeich l'siyas Mitzrayim. But I'm mechuyev to say it to say it b'dibur. I'm mechuyev to say it b'dibur. Though, although everything I'm doing is the whole teichen. So this is why, because really b'machshava is good enough. You're not mechuyev to say it over midiraisa al sipur.
It says we got to live in.
Oh, so that's what he said. Oh, so he says v'lav dafka agada. He says goes v'lav dafka agada b'peh. Ela im yishol mefarshin lei. You're not mechuyev to say dafka b'peh. Just if he asks you, then you tell it over to him.
How do you get that from the Torah? What does the Torah pasuk say?
Just when you say a man tisker, it's a hemshech before. A man tisker, she's saying the same thing over there. Then you have to do it. If not.
So it could be this only that I said that Rabban Al Kavan is still mechuyev to do after b'diver, but it's whatever. It's a very mechudesh halach he has over here.
By the better times.
We say it every day.
By the better times,
Hier, Paul, Judalen. Schau, wir haben alle mal so so ist Oiber fragt, nicht Oiber ist Atom. O schon יודע לשאול. darf nicht reden.
Mit der Reise mit der Ravana. Yeah, so Pashas the Chid Reise is super fair, but there's a shit of there's a shit of so Minchas Chinuch says that the Chiyav is dafka is telling it over to another person. The Rosh takes it a shtickle weiter, and that the whole also that's dafka when someone asks you, and that's so the Rebbe brings on this beer in the Haggadah. He says the Rebbe says it's not from the other sheni not like this, that the Chiyav in the Reise of Pesach is also even if there's no one else to say it over to him. In the Southern Aramakim, the Rebbe says, "Aval berith Rashba Rambam Shulchan Aruch Rabbeinu v'Oid loy mashmakin." And the Rebbe wants to say it's holding on the two gersais. The Gemara asks if you're there's two gersais in the Mechilta. The Gemara says v'gad levincha. So it says if you don't have a son with you, are you still mechuyev? If you don't have your child with you, are you still mechuyev to say over a super season sign? So there's two nuschais in the Mechilta. So let's see it inside. The Rebbe says, "Ulai efshar leimar shetali b'shtei hagersais." There's two gersais in the Mechilta. The Mechilta shehevi b'sefer Amisas al Rambam. And the way the Rambam brings it down in Mitzvah Sasei Kufman Zayin, Kosav, he says, "V'gad levincha." So afa pishay nishaylach. Says even though if he doesn't, even if he doesn't ask you, you still have to say it over. Ainli ella bizman sheyesh ben. So I only know if you have a son, then you have to say it over. How do I know if he's telling it over? It's only him and other people. He doesn't have a son. How do I know? It brings a limon. So according to this, maybe if it's only you by yourself, the Mechilta doesn't tell you still mechuyev if you're sitting by yourself. It just tells you your ben is lav dafka with another person. You also mechuyev. But what if you're by yourself? So maybe you're taka pater. But there's another gear he brings afterwards. Av Mechilta derashbi kasa says beinay lebein atzmoi and beinay lebein achedim minayin tamad leimar. So according to this gear, it says klar that also beinay lebein atzmoi you're also chayav to say the Haggadah, to tell it over.
So he got it goes beinay lebein atzmoi also.
Even if you're by yourself. So
what's the Minayin Talmud? What's the Talmud Lema? Talmud Lema what?
I don't know. It's after someone.
I don't remember. I don't remember what the limit was afterwards.
But not from Vigad to Levincha. He's not going to learn out from Megad Bincha Ben Ruben Azma.
Right.
Something.
So the Rebbe someone say this beer. Could you say the answer to Minchas Chinuch that the mitzvah why Sipur Yisrael different than all the other nights because Mrs. Dafka to say it over to someone else. So Rebbe wants to say it's totally this. So other Mefarshim is not mashma not like that. So the Rebbe wants to say it's totally on the Machlekes. It's totally on these two years of the Mechilta. Does the Mechilta say that you have a chiv also bein ela bein asma or not? And we'll do two more biurim. The Rebbe says in the next line. Nehei. That another chiluk between Pesach and all year round, the Rebbe says, "Zechira de kol yoyim ein li meis Mashiach adas ben zayma." According to Ben Zayma, so when it comes to meis Mashiach, we're going to be putter from the mitzvah of remembering Yesiyas Mitzrayim every day. And ulakama peisim alach k'meisei. So you know what's the chiluk Pesach by night? Even by meis Mashiach, we're also going to be saying it. Whereas Zichir, so taka according to this beer all year round, it's taka the same chiyuv. All year round and the Seder by Pesach night. What's the chil? It's an nafkamina is Yisam Mashiach. Yisam Mashiach, according to Ben Zayma, we're going to be potter from Sipur Yisrael Mitzrayim all year round. So maybe we're only going to be remembering a Pesach by night.
What's Vav Lamed Chav Kei?
Vav L'Kama Peskim.
So that what? That since he holds its loss of
that it's not your potter loss of loving. Right? It says Kol Yemei Chayecha. Is it Lahavi Aleilis or the Yisam Mashiach?
Right.
So a lot of Peskim take on that means talking about Aleilis. That's what we do, right? We say by nighttime.
Right.
So according to this, we're going to be potter from Yetzias Mitzrayim.
I thought that Rebbe holds that there's no steer between the Chachamim and the Rosh Hashanah.
Some of Farshim bring down. Some of Farshim do have such a mahalach that the machlekes isn't they're not arguing about do you say not they're arguing what's the raya, what's the makar for the limud. Actually no.
No, this Meisif.
No, the machlekes. No, there's the machlekes. You have to say the Meis Mashiach. That's definitely machlekes. So that's another nafkamina. That's our sixth nafkamina, I think. In number involved, there is another beer. V'lo Pesach hamitzvah hi b'meshach kol halayla. O yant chatzais labels benazariya. You could do it all night long. You have the chiyuv. Ashukar sipur b'tchilas halayla. Even though you already did it once,
over and over.
You keep the more you tell over, you may still be the kind of mitzvah deraisa as long as you do it. Ashenkim b'chol yom every day of the year, all year round. Even hizker pamachas le'matzina mitzvah. If you said mitzvah mitzvah once, if you say another time, you can't mitzvah deraisa. We didn't find such a thing. The gamme der Rabban on the Haskell.
Interessant בכלל. Man darf masker sein Yetzias Mitzrayim kol yoy. Ist das ist bei Togot badachte Zeichen.
Beide, das ist Machlekes in the Mishnah. Wir passen na Sai bei Yom, Sai bei Nacht.
No.
And that's Machlekes Kol, Havi Alilis.
Wait, no, Kol Amar Be'ez Meshubach is by Pesach.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all year round.
Over here, he says after Kvasip B'Tchis, the rest, Kol Amar Be'ez Meshubach.
Yeah, Mashenkim by every day. Yeah.
Every day, he wants to say it once, you're ready Eitzah. You're not being kind of missing the Eitzah if you talk about Yisrael Mitzrayim all day long.
But Hareze Meshubach doesn't mean it's another mitzvah. You're saying over here it's another mitzvah?
No, it's a bigger mitzvah. You're saying you want to know if it's how many mitzvahs left.
What are you saying over there?
You're still being Mekayim Mitzvah. Right, when you're eating in the sukkah all night long, if you're sitting in the sukkah having a farang all night
bigger
long,
mitzvah.
Every second you're sitting in the sukkah.
Questioning if I talk about it once an hour, am I getting 10 mitzvahs or am I enlarging the one mitzvah?
What's the saying?
So once you, according to all you're saying all year long, once you said it once, you said the mantis. Oh yes, so every second being the kind that you're saying is
it one bigger mitzvah or am I getting 10 mitzvahs?
What's the saying?
Sounds like a hamster.
It doesn't say.
I hear you. I'm not.
In Pesach, remember, because every time you eat the matzah, you feel the Yetzias Mitzrayim comes good.
I think it's one bigger.
Yeah, the shiva, not the
it's one big mitzvah. It says Hareze Meshubach.
Right, so you're doing the mitzvah the best way possible. Right. The more you do it.
Right.
And okay, we're late. So the rest, should we finish?
What's the real pshat in 12?
Okay, so whoever wants to go.
What's pshat in 12? 12 is.
So let's go through it. Fine, so I don't want to give in to everyone wants to go. But whoever wants to stay, we'll go through the rest of it. No one's forced to stay. No feeling. Anyone wants to go, they can make a mezubin, and we'll keep going.
Good.
So in the 8th Ma'amakim, so the shaila is why do you make a bracha on Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim? It's a mitzvah. So it's a mitzvah. You should make a bracha. So the Avudraham, he brings two answers. First thing he brings one from the Rif. He says Vehiksha Harif. Just like Kriyas Megillah, you make a bracha. He got to tell the Vincha Beimahu. He has to tell it over. The Tiritz, he says because you already ate it beforehand. You said Kiddush. He said Zeichel Mitzrayim. So once you already mentioned it.
You have to say it from beginning to end, so that doesn't answer.
So this is so you see the Rif doesn't hold like that. You see the Rif doesn't hold like that.
He holds that the Zeicher alone is enough.
Yeah, there's a story that brings down in from the Sefer Sichos that someone asked that Mittel Rebbe asked. I didn't bring the whole thing. The Mittel Rebbe asked Mittel Rebbe said the answer of the Rif that he used to be Kiddush, and the Alter Rebbe didn't like it. He said the Smasha Veikazata, you have to say Barichos. So you have to these two Tirusim, they don't go together. You're gonna have to.
No, but it's interesting.
In the Rashba.
No, but it's interesting over here in the Buddha. He asked the question based on Purim.
Not Dafka, any mitzvah,
But he brings down Purim.
Yeah.
By Purim, we favors say, when you make the Shechiyona, you should have in mind the three mitzvahs during the daytime. So
you're asking why do you make a bracha on other mitzvahs?
No. When we make the bracha Purim during the daytime, Shulchan Aruch says beferish you should have in mind.
Okay, maybe therefore what?
So over here, when we say, since we say Kiddush all year long, so why don't we have in mind?
But why do you make a bracha? Why do you make a bracha for itself? Why doesn't it deserve its own bracha?
So you're saying that it's included in the Kiddush.
Maybe you should have in mind.
That's my question.
If what? If you should have
the question have it in mind.
On Pesach, on Purim,
for the Sipur also.
On Purim there itself, you have the question: why do you make a bracha on Matanas Avyenim and Mishlech Manos? And that's another shayla you're getting into. Why do you make it? Why doesn't it deserve its own bracha over here?
So what's the end off over there? That you should have in mind.
Okay.
You should say over here too. You should have in mind.
He's saying if it's different, you already Yitzis. You can't make a bracha. You already Mekayim the mitzvah.
You're
already Mekayim it. How can you make a bracha after the bracha needs to be over last Yason?
Right, but you have in mind. Now this is the regular Kiddush. You're saying Kiddush.
The start is Kiddush. You Mekayim the mitzvah. Now you're expanding on it later.
Good.
So what is there to have in mind? I'm expanding on it later.
This Kiddush and the Kiddush for Shabbos is the same thing. And I don't say anything. What do I say? Chatzias Mitzrayim. I say the Kiddush too for Shabbos.
Because I have a mitzvah Shabbos too.
Yeah, so it's a Kiddush mitzvah. So you can say the Kiddush mitzvah also has to include the Sipur mitzvah.
Okay, let's finish up. I don't want to keep everyone here for too long. And the Rashba, the second shtickle number 8, the Rashba says, "V'Rashba kasav tam acher, she'in levarach al kriyasa." You can't make the bracha on the kriyim mipnei she'im mitzvah she'in la kitzvah. You do it. There's no set limit to it. Afilu b'dibar ba'oma she'idar b'binyan yitzias mitzrayim yatsa. Ela kol hamar b'harizah meshubach. So you can't make a bracha. There isn't any set boundary to exactly what the mitzvah is. Therefore, you can't make a bracha on it.
Okay.
The 9th Marmak already saw the Rosh. The Rosh says you make a bracha because really Machshava is good enough. And the Shibali Aleket number 10 brings other tirutzim. He says the mitzvahs Haggadah he. In the number 10 he says mitzvahs Haggadah he mitzvahs asi. B'haisutuna bracha. He says Ela shenifteres b'kriyashma. He says a different part. He already eats a season inside b'kriyashma. Hari kriyashma tuna bracha lifnei alachrel. So you already ate in Kriya Shema, and in Kriya Shema you already made the brachos, therefore you don't need to make any more brachos. And he says another Geshmak Avart, he was Mitechi Vasa Ramzala Elu Arba brachos. He's middle being Mazra over here on Baruch Hamakim Baruch Hu. Baruch, so it says Baruch 4 times. Baruch Hamakim. So different Farshim have different beauty. Why is Baruch Hamakim 4 times? So he says it's being Baramis because even though you already ate on the bracha in Kriya Shema, but we wanted to make a bracha for itself. So therefore, that's why the Baruch HaMakim fits in, because that's instead of the Brichas HaMitzvahs, we have Baruch HaMakim Baruch Hu. So that's our 4th answer. So Vaiter, he goes on, he says another one, a fifth answer. Oyu Shleimar, Masha Imin B'Seiv Ashek Alanu, he brought Birchas HaGadah. He says at the end of the Haggadah we say we make the bracha Ashrei Galonu. He says that's the bracha on the mitzvah on the Haggadah. Shar Yishvas Koros Matzah Maru Pesach. Therefore Yitzah. Why don't you say it in the beginning? Why do you do it in the beginning? V'lama Kabua B'Seif Haggadah. He says Afish Reitzon Liderish Kamed Rashis B'Nei Haggadah, because we're going to be darshaning all night long. V'im Hayim Varech Tchila Ashrei Galonu. V'Haya Chizal Mafrei Aveder Shal El Hashibon.
wish I understood his answer.
So he says, what's it? We're making the bracha for the Geula. We're going to be talking about Yisrael Mitzrayim. Afterwards, we're going to be talking about the Shibud also, about the hardship that he doesn't have.
First, you want to start with the.
So he says, after you make people think the Eibusher for taking the Geula, you're going to start talking about all the tzaddus that we had. You want to first talk about the tzaddus, and then we think the Eibusher for taking us out all the tzaddus.
But that's not the whole thing of. I don't understand it because that's the whole thing of the Seder. The Seder is not that we're free, and he says it that in the beginning.
Good, so that's the Seder. First talk about the Shiva, then make a bracha on the Gula. Exactly like we do it. The bracha we make by Gula, that's when we thank the Eibusher. By the Gula.
Why are we having the Seder tonight? Because we're free.
And then we thank the Eibusher. But first we explain how we got free, the whole story that happened. Then we thank the Eibusher with the bracha. That's what he's saying. We're asking all the time, how come we don't make a bracha on the Sipri? He says, no, better make a bracha on the Gula. I make the bracha on the Gula and then do the Sipri. He says, doesn't make sense. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So number 11, there's Archas Chaim. He says like about half a line. He's very the kitzur, doesn't explain too much. He says ve'im mevarach al gadol the fisha ina el sipur dvarim. So I'm not sure what this means. Given she'ina el sipur dvarim.
As opposed to?
No limit. There's no limit.
I don't know. As opposed to Maisa.
As opposed to the Gola, let's say, where you make the bracha at the end by the Gola, a little bit the same time, it's all tight shit.
So there's in.
He wants an action bracha. What did the Eibusher do for us? He took us out.
Mm-hmm.
Thank him.
Okay, it's very. Okay.
As opposed to the whole story that we were avadim, we don't make a bracha. What is he saying?
So I'm not sure. There's in number 12, the Sefer Sichos with all the Rebbe brings down from the Alter Rebbe. Says the Alter Rebbe gave a different answer to this. So I'm not sure if this is Gavani. So when you say Birchas Hamazon, you don't make a bracha. I think sure al Birchas Hamazon.
Because you're making a bracha on the Galanu. It's all the same teretz, no? Maybe I should make. I'm ending up making a bracha on the Gola. I'm making a bracha. So why should I make a bracha that I'm going to? I'm ending up making a bracha. Why should I make a bracha on the Shivud when I'm actually making a bracha on the end?
You're saying that you already have a bracha on the Sipur Dvarim. Sounds like you can make a bracha on the Sipur Dvarim.
I'm ending up making a bracha on the Gola, which is the main thing. Not on Sipur Dvarim Ba'alma, not on the beginning that I'm going to make a bracha for bracha. I'm doing it all right according to this. I tell the whole story that happened, and then I make a bracha on the Eibusher taking us actually out. Yeah. So it sort of combines a little bit the last three.
Mm-hmm.
But I
say the story that happened, then the action parts, and thank on the action.
But I think the last part.
So you could make a bracha on Sipur Dvarim, right? You are making a bracha on Sipur Dvarim.
No,
you're saying
not.
Action because it's.
Teretz.
Saying both is action. You're saying tzaddus. The tzaddus Shibud is not considered a ma'isa. It's.
We don't want to thank the Eibusher for the tzaddus Shibud. We're thanking him on taking us out. I guess it's only Sipur Dvarim Ba'alma. And then we thank him for the end result that he took us out.
The closest word I saw to this, a similar word I saw in the Haggadah Ma'aseh Nissim, he says a word that I didn't have space on the paper to bring down, but it sounds like the word you're saying. He says also you don't just like you make a bracha on Birchas Hamazon. He says because the whole Birchas Hamazon is shevach, thanking the Eibusher. So what's shevach? You're thanking the Eibusher for this. So you're thanking the Eibusher for thanking him. It's the whole Sipur Yisrael, the whole Sipur story. Sipur Yisrael using Mishabeach. You're thinking the Eibusher. You're telling things over. The Eibusher took us out of Mitzrayim. So you're going to think the Eibusher. How can you make a thanks on the things? Right? You don't make a bracha. You're
saying the 11, not 12, because 12 says we make a bracha. The same way you make a Birchas Hamazon.
She'ein mevarchin al Birchas Hamazon the varich Birchas Hamazon.
But we do end up making a bracha on Birchas Hamazon.
Birchas Hamazon is a bracha because Birchas Hamazon is a shevach. You're not gonna thank the Eibusher for letting us thank him. The whole thanking him is the thanks. You're going to give thanks for thanks.
But we're making Birchas Hamazon.
You can make a thanks on the thanks.
So where's the thanks by Pesach?
The whole. Also, he's saying the whole Super Season is a shevach.
On Birchas Hamazon we make a bracha. We say we don't make a bracha to a bracha, but we end up making a bracha. So now compare the Seder to Birchas Hamazon. Where's our bracha by Seder?
So you say
on Gola.
Oh, so,
that's how I'm understanding it. You're saying you Bechlal don't need a bracha
because the whole story of Siyas Mitzrayim is a shevach to the Eibusher. What's a bracha? You're being mishabech the Eibusher. You're praising him.
So
I thought
but
maybe
12 is telling you that I don't do two brachas. Don't make a bracha on the sipper and a bracha on the gola. I'm making a bracha on the gola like Bersama. That's I'm understanding 12. 11 you could teach that there's b'chlal no bracha needed because it's only a sipper dvarim. The whole. But we make a bracha on the gola anyhow. So you're splitting it up. Let's say. Let's not talk about the gola. Only talk about the Haggadah part. So it's either a sipper dvarim or it's achana lebracha. It's a bracha libracha, which you don't do.
Yeah.
Okay. But either way, I accomplish it all good by ending up making a bracha. I'm saying b'payil, I'm ending up making a bechz gola.
I
don't need a double bracha. I don't need to make a bracha on the sipur dvarim. I don't need to make a bracha before a bracha. But I'm ending up making a bracha.
Right.
And I can't do that first because that's not the way a story happens. First, you explain
like
the story.
Shibulia, like a.
What do you say to this, David?
No. Okay, fine. I'm leaving now. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah.
What do you say to this? That for 12, that since everything that we have is